For today's question and answer video, we have how to paste record transcriptions into Airtable. And this will be very relevant for those of you who are working on either making your timeline or doing your research log. So often when we find a record that we want to save to our timeline or research log, I don't know if you do this, but I will copy and paste some of the information from the transcription page, select the text, and then use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+C to copy. Then I'll go over to my Airtable base, and here's my research log. I can click expand the cell to make it bigger, and this is a long text field for the results of my search. And then in that expanded cell, I can then paste that information. And you may have noticed if you've tried this that sometimes the pasting of that information can look pretty ugly. And so we have several options for how to get this to paste in better. You can just do the regular paste, which may have weird formatting, or you can paste without formatting, and that gives you more of a plain text look. Or you can reformat the pasted text using AI. And this is something I've been trying out lately and can be helpful. So if I just pasted it regularly into the cell, it looks pretty bad. This particular example has a lot of formatting going on, and it has no spaces in between all of the different fields that were indexed from the census. So I wouldn't keep this in my research log. It's too jumbled up. So this was just from using Ctrl+V and pasting it regularly. So if I forget to do a different type of paste, then I will just do the undo button, Ctrl+Z, undo. That was ugly. And what I'll usually do instead is Ctrl+Shift+V. This keyboard shortcut allows you to paste without the formatting. And in this case, it worked really well. And it doesn't always work perfectly, but in this case, it was much better than what I had before. And it was simple, and I can actually read this, and this is great for my research log. If I scroll up to the top of the cell, I can see I have a lot of information here, and there's a scroll bar to be able to see all of it. So I can scroll back down here to see what was at the bottom. But it's still kind of like a long list with a lot of paragraph breaks. So if you didn't like it like that, and maybe you'd want to have something different, you could even try pasting all of that text you copied into a chatbot like ChatGPT AI model and saying a prompt like this: fix the formatting on this pasted transcription of census information from Ancestry to make it more readable. Include all the details about the census, but remove words about the website and column headers. So here's the result that I got with that prompt. And it kept a lot of the same information, but added a little bit of formatting, but not too much formatting. And so this is good at first glance, but of course we always want to check this against the original. And even if you just paste this transcription, we always want to check the original, because we know that the index data doesn't include everything from the census. And if we're not clicking in to view the original, we're really doing a disservice to ourselves. So let's look at the original for this census. This is for Ephraim Dyer, age 64, in the 1860 census. And in the transcription that I pasted here, you can see that it said that the home in 1860 was Missouri, Boone, Missouri. And ChatGPT thought that that was a mistake. So it removed the first Missouri here and just gave me Boone, Missouri. Well, when I looked at the original, I found it actually was the name of the township, Missouri Township, within Boone County, within the state of Missouri. So that's something that I want to keep in my results. I don't want ChatGPT to edit that out, because that's important information. Another thing that wasn't indexed was the fact that Ephraim was listed as dumb, along with being a pauper, and only pauper was indexed. And the column header didn't list all of this, whether deaf and dumb, blind, insane, idiotic pauper, or convict. It only listed instead disability condition in the index data. So some things that were different that I thought I might want to review, and also some of these things about the fact that he's in a poorhouse, because the head of household is the keeper of the poorhouse owned by the county. So looking at the image gives me a bit more data to work with. And I want to keep all of that in my research log, so I would manually add that. So ChatGPT edited out this Missouri township. It removed some unnecessary words, but it also removed an important word. I tried the exact same prompt into Claude and pasted it all here without formatting and asked it to make it more readable. And this one did a better job keeping the exact details. And I've noticed with Claude, when I do this kind of exercise, that Claude by Anthropic has higher fidelity to the pasted record transcription. It doesn't change as many things as ChatGPT, and it will leave in some words that ChatGPT thinks are unnecessary or spelled wrong. So Claude is nice for that. I also thought of another prompt I might try because sometimes I don't want to have so many line breaks, and this one had just so many um, returns and making it really long. So I said, format this pasted transcription of census info from Ancestry into a paragraph with each listed item separated by semicolons. Include all the details about the census and don't change or add anything. At the end, provide a bulleted list of the household members and ages. So I still wanted the household to be a list, but I wanted all the data about Ephraim to be in a paragraph. But instead of asking it to write out a paragraph, I just wanted it to be a simple list, like with semicolons. So Claude did a great job with this, and it gave me all of his information in a paragraph format, but still kind of keeping it in a list and not writing it out, making it longer. When I did this prompt with ChatGPT, it once again left out the Missouri township, but it did change some of the data into more readable phrases, even though I told it not to change or add anything. But it was still correct. Instead of saying read or write Y for yes, it said, or cannot read and write Y for yes, it changed that to could not read or write, and then put identified as a pauper. So I did take this one from ChatGPT and pasted that one into my results. And then I went and added all the information I found on the original image. So everything highlighted in green is stuff that I added after taking that transcription and having ChatGPT help me with it. So there's many things you can do depending on how important this record is to you and to your research. You can spend more or less time, but often I will just copy and paste the transcription, check the original image, and then just use the Ctrl+Shift+V to paste without formatting for a quick, simple way to paste things into Airtable. All right, thanks for listening, and I hope this helps you as you're working on your timeline and your research log in Airtable.